Welcome everyone. My name is Suzanne Picetti-Johnson. I'm with Avenues to Wellness, and we are a community-based wellness program of the Frank R. Howard Foundation. I'm here today with Doris Wier. She is a certified relationship coach, and today we're going to discuss from a personal and a professional perspective the impact that the COVID-19 crisis has had on us. So, Doris, I will start with you and ask you, what was this like for you in the beginning? What is it like for you now? And what have been some of the positive aspects of this crisis?
I think I suffered mainly from the social distancing because I'm a very tactile person. I get a lot of hugs from friends at the choir. I do social dancing and all those things stopped. So I felt very touched and hugged deprived. And I'm not used to it. So, I mean, the cat is fine, but it's not the same.
Not the same, right.
Yeah. Luckily, I was still able to see my boyfriend over the weekend. That really helped. But I noticed that had a big impact on me and on my general energy and feeling.
The lack of tactile.
Yeah, and also, I lost where I used to charge my batteries. Like the singing in the choir.
I see.
I used to go social dancing at least twice a week, so couldn't do that anymore. So. Yeah. But then you asked me about what was also positive.
Yes. And what is it like for you now? Has there been a change initially versus now?
I felt like at some point I adjusted to this new norm. And then with the opening up, I realized I start to become insecure again. Like, I feel like I have a tendency now to shelter at home again. Where before I started to feel a little comfortable to see certain people. I mean, not just the same. And now I feel like maybe I should avoid going out that much.
Even though it's opening up, you're still noticing the fear around it.
Yeah, I just feel less secure than before. Because I know there's tourists, I know there is rallies, I know there is more people who are, and I see the pictures, that they cannot do the necessary social distancing all the time.
I see, right. So and you can't control that, so it makes you feel less secure. Yeah.
So how about you? What was challenging for you? Is it okay if we talk afterwards about the positive?
Sure, that's fine. Initially, I was just processing the information. It was all so new, and I was trying to understand and get the proper facts. And I noticed that it really made me say, am I safe? Are my loved ones safe? And it kind of triggered some old stuff for me around loss of safety. So that was initially. And now I have to say, I guess I would describe myself as stressed but resilient. Resilient in that I have a pretty good self-care program or routine in place. So I feel kind of okay on my day-to-day basis. But I'm really stressed because of the magnitude of the crisis. And I feel kind of a collective anxiety, a collective discomfort. And I'm just aware that the pandemic triggered a mental health crisis, which we already had before, which makes all of the mental health issues so much worse. A collective anxiety. I'm worried about our people, I really am.
Yeah. And then, the George Floyd situation, that was just another spin.
Yeah.
Yes. It just gets more heated, and people are really upset, and they are expressing their upset more and more.
Yes. So. And crisis upon crisis upon crisis simultaneously.
Yeah.
High level of stress.
It's piling up.
Yep. For sure. So
But
what had? Oh, go ahead.
you asked me what was also positive,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized that I have also, like you, really good self-care tools, and I was resorting to them, and it felt almost like a test. How good can I take care of myself? How well can I be my best friend? Because I'm living alone during the week, so
Yes.
it's pretty clear how I am the one. It's my
Yes.
energy in the house. So, and I have to say I passed that test.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful.
that made me happy. My garden became my workout place, and also my source of joy. And I don't think I've ever enjoyed and cherished my garden, and especially the trees and the flowers as much as I.
Beautiful.
And I get to Skype more with my son in LA. And I even started to Skype with my friends in Switzerland. And the overall feeling is we're all in the same boat. And I found that very, very comforting, because it's very rare that my friends in Switzerland experience what I'm experiencing here.
Yes.
And just knowing this is happening in the whole world. Everybody's affected by it.
Yes, yes.
And the
so unusual.
Interconnectedness, you can't deny that anymore. And also that my actions have an impact on other people and other people's lives.
Yes,
and
I know
I
what you mean.
There was more awareness about that.
Absolutely.
And I saw a lot of creative projects. But I also have to say, I'm in a very privileged situation. I still have work. I could still continue with my work just over the phone or Skype.
Yes.
I don't have that many life stressors. I didn't have that before COVID-19, so I'm just dealing with COVID-19. So I have to say that. I know that other people are suffering way more than I do.
I feel that too, that I'm privileged. I have work. I have a wonderful husband at home. And I know that a lot of folks can't find the positive right now. For sure. Yeah.
Or it's harder.
It's harder. It's harder, yeah.
Much harder to see.
Yeah, for me, I've really enjoyed the rest. Like, stop. How often does that happen for all of us? Phew. Really a relief, you know? And a time to ask what's working, what's not working, both personally and societally. So I've enjoyed that part of it. Yeah, and also, like you said, the awareness of we over me, and that we need to think about the collective instead of just ourselves. I think we need more of that. So that's been in the air, and I think I'm really liking that part. So yeah.
And hearing that the sponges and the dolphins came back after 2 weeks of shutting down in Italy.
Wow,
I mean,
yes!
that was just like, yay! I was just like really stoked. It made me so happy to hear that.
The environment is getting a break too, yes.
Oh yeah, I heard that it's not enough. So even if we would continue doing it like that, there are scientists who say it will not be enough.
I imagine, yeah. I imagine. But we know we can do it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So you very generously offered your coaching services for free during this time, for a time frame.
Yeah.
And so what were the themes that came up around that and the tools that you employed?
Well, increased anxiety was
overall,
totally present. But I have to say, I put it out as I said, if you want to learn how to meditate or do something for your body so you can learn to calm your nervous system down, if you need somebody who really listens, or and and somebody who helps you tap into your own resourcefulness.
Yes.
That's how I put it out.
Ah.
So I have to assume that this gives already a selection of who will seek my free coaching.
Right.
So I had increased anxiety. I had people who were really worried about their jobs, about their financial security. I had people who had conflicts with their partner because they had a very different point of view on what they need to do in order to be safe.
Ah, disagreements around
the safety rules.
I see.
It was mainly that the woman felt their partner or husband is not taking it seriously. And they are violating rules that were recommended. And they were really at a loss how to handle that.
Yes.
So I would say these were the three, and just a general overwhelm.
Yeah.
Maybe with children at home, homeschooling, and a husband who leaves every day, and the insecurities. Is he bringing the virus home or not? Is he really doing it safely?
Yes, yes, all very real fears.
Very, very real.
Yeah. And the general overwhelm.
Yeah, the general overwhelm. Yeah.
It's a lot all at once. And the financial piece of it makes it so much worse.
Yeah. And the not knowing how will this develop.
Yes.
But, knowing that if it goes on for a long time, it will hurt our economy.
Yes.
More people will lose jobs. And people started to lose jobs fairly quickly, actually.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And not sure if they'll have them back even after we reopen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, what they have teenagers who graduate from high school.
Yes.
How will their future look like?
Yes.
I mean, shall we send them to college? Does it make sense? If it's only online? And how will that impact their future?
Right.
So.
And what kind of tools did you work with or provide for them?
Well, I would say that pretty much in what I said I will offer, I used those. I offered tiny little things that you can calm your nervous system with. That you can bring it down. And if you want, I can show you quickly some. Is that of interest?
Sure, I would love it.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous right now anyway.
Let's see if it works.
Okay.
So one of them is very simple. You just put one hand in your belly area and one hand in your chest area. And some people like to close their eyes or look down on the ground. And just check in with yourself. How is that? And before I go any further, switch hands and see if you have a preferred position, if one of them feels better than the other. Just check it out. And then stay in the position hand position that you feel most comfortable. And make sure you're comfortable. I'm not, so I have to adjust right now. And then start with the hand that touches your belly. And just sense into from the palm and the skin of the palm of your hand, sense into your belly. Try to make a connection. Establish a connection. And maybe you can even sense some movement from your breathing. Maybe you can enjoy the warmth of your hand or the warmth of your belly. And then go into your hand that touches your chest area, your heart area. Maybe you sense your heart beating a little bit. I do. I feel my heart beating
me
a
too.
little bit. And again, just as if you could sense from the skin of that palm, through the clothes, into the skin of the chest area underneath. And maybe at some point you can even connect simultaneously from your right palm and your left palm into your body. Just enjoy the breathing movement. See if anything is changing. Yeah, and if you need to make a sound, let it out. That's always good. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Feel your feet on the ground. Your sitting bones that you're sitting on. Just do what feels right. But prepare yourself to come back into opening your eyes and back into the room, to the space here when you're ready. And stretch out. It's really important to stretch. To break that. It helps us to arrive. Some good stretching.
Yeah, that definitely changed gears for me. Down.
Yeah, so I did something like that. And there are other things that are similar there's so many things you can do to calm your nervous system down. So that was one tool I used so people can know I can calm my own nervous system.
Whenever I want to.
Whenever I want to.
Yeah. Beautiful. And you mentioned inner resources, connecting people to their inner resources. Can you say more about that, and what is that like?
You know, when I was, of course, usually they started to talk. And I just listened. And whenever I saw something that they are already doing really well,
I see.
I just reflected that back.
That they may not have even realized was a resource for themselves.
Yeah, that they were actually already using or doing something that was very helpful. And I remember one woman said, "Wow, that was really nice. I felt seen and validated." And I was not aware of it, that I'm actually doing already something. She likes to go to the beach. And so I was just pointing out to, you're doing that. Or I offered something and then the person said, "You know what? I just remember I like to sit in nature and just watch nature." And so I said, "So, okay, so you already found your way, or one way that you can calm yourself and your nervous system." So I was basically validating
what they're already doing. And then it makes it that much more powerful for them. You're not handing them the tool, they have it inside.
And you know, I only had 25 minutes with each person.
I see.
So it was unusual fast speed.
I see. Yeah, you want to get a lot in there,
But it was also good because, you know, you don't have to go. You just take one thing and you work with that. And another tool I felt was really, really valuable. It fell down, but it's a really good tool. So let me see if I can fix it, if I can put it back up again, at least for a minute. Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
Well, it's like a tool where you ask yourself, where do I have control? And it's best if you are overwhelmed with something or upset with something. Like, for instance, I used that tool with the person who was really upset about her husband, whom she was not sure whether he would do the safety measurements, whether he would wear the mask, whether he would wash his hand and sanitize them.
Yes, yes.
And so
she wasn't sure if she had control over his behavior.
Well, she obviously didn't have any control over
Right.
his behavior,
Okay.
because he left the house.
I see, without the mask. And
No, he left the house with the mask and everything, but she was not sure if he would forget about it, because she's seen him when they went shopping, that sometimes he forgot to disinfect.
I understand. Okay.
So I was like working with her. I was using that tool, like, what is in your range of action and control?
I see. I see.
I was asking her mainly, what do you need from your husband to feel safe? And so she was reflecting on that, and she realized that she needs to have a conversation with him. In which she would ask him if he could really do a lot of tighten up his act.
I see.
On certain levels.
Sure.
She was thinking of what also was in her range of action and control, that she could ask him for the time being, if he could move in the little trailer, because he was the one. So she would be with the son in the house,
and
he could be in the trailer. And what was outside of her range of action and control, which is over here,
yes,
is that she will not be able to control how her husband will react. What he can promise her to do, what he's willing to promise her to do.
Right.
But she can ask him. She can tell him her concerns. She can tell him what would make her feel safer. And in the worst, she could say, in this case, I move out to the trailer.
She had a plan B.
Yeah, if she felt with all that was not enough, and he would not have been willing to move to the trailer,
right,
then she could move to the trailer.
I see. Something within her control again. Yeah.
And it came out that her husband was absolutely fine with moving to the trailer. And
very nice.
And she would just bring him the food. From that. And this is a really cool tool. Even what I also say, when you put things in outside of my range of control and action, I always encourage people to first of all write things down.
Okay.
Write it in those two categories.
I see. What you can and can't control.
Exactly.
I see. Write them down.
Exactly. And then go over to what is outside of my range of control and action, and just see if there is anything that you have overlooked. If there is anything you could still do, even if it would be that small.
So really specific thinking about what you can do and not do. Yeah.
And, sort of double check with, is that really outside my range of action and control? Because, like, for instance, you might think, what can I do for all those people who lose their jobs? And yet it affects me. I feel affected.
Yeah.
But you could send them good energy.
So even a little thing like that, a prayer.
Yeah, a little prayer. And it's just, it makes us feel better when we feel like we get out of this helplessness, of this overwhelm. It will snap us out of it.
I see.
And it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be very tiny things.
Out of helplessness into being able to do even something small can snap us out of that overwhelm. Yeah.
And don't do it with everything. You will overwhelm yourself. That's why I say, take a specific situation and use that tool. It's like sitting down with yourself and and evaluating what is in my range of control, what is outside of my range.
And then letting it go, what you
Exactly.
can't control.
Yes, because there is no need to worry,
Right.
because it's in my range of control how I will react. For instance, like what is outside of my range of control, I can decide to let it go and acknowledge I can't do anything about that.
Right, right.
Or I could continue fretting about it. And that is, again, in my range of action. Although some people might feel like, I have no control. But, together with some self-care, together with maybe reaching out to a friend, talking about it.
Yes. Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Oh, completely. Because we spend so much time, I should say I spend time worrying about things, for instance, the financial impact on the mental health of our people. How much can I really control that?
Yeah.
And so,
my whole project of offering free coaching came out of what can I do? Because I felt like I'm in this privileged situation. I feel fairly good. What can I contribute?
what can I do
What can I do
to help?
And it helped me too to be able to do the free coaching.
It does. It does.
It was very satisfying.
So, feels good to give. Yeah.
But you had an interesting project too, didn't you?
I did, and it was born out of hopelessness. Actually, I was, feeling somewhat overwhelmed about the mental health impact on our people. In particular, what inspired me was the domestic violence, because the domestic violence that was already here before this crisis. And then I realized, oh my gosh, people are trapped inside with their abusers. Home is not safe for a lot of people. So I was inspired to give folks another support. So I developed this program called Call to Connect. It is a telephone-based emotional support system for all ages. And there is just so much value in connecting. Just listening in a non-judgmental way without having to fix anything. So what this is a buddy system where I connect people that are isolated. And so I'm kind of a matchmaker. And I pair people with a buddy. And it's anonymous, just to keep it safe and clean. I was inspired by the 12-step programs in that way. So yeah, I'm a matchmaker for isolated people. And I hope people will take advantage of this. So far, I don't have a lot of response. I don't know what that means, but I do have a few matches. I also am asking for folks that want to volunteer their time. Not that they're necessarily feeling isolated, but that they can give 15 minutes 3 times a week or something like that.
Wow. Wonderful.
So anyway, this has made me feel like you said, I can do something. And it's been, yeah, exactly.
You used it.
I used it. What can I do when I was feeling that collective anxiety and worried about the mental health impact, which is very real. So I don't know what it means that I haven't had a lot of response. One thing I've thought of is the stigma that I'm well aware exists around reaching out for help. And if there was ever a time to reach out, the stress is so high now. I just really encourage folks to reach out.
Yeah.
The way I think about it for myself in terms of how I manage my mental health is what I use this visual. What are my stresses and what are my supports? So as the stress goes up, my supports go up. So when the stress around this virus came up, my support that has been the most helpful is limiting my news. I don't do more than a half an hour max of TV and social media because I noticed it just really affects me. So I try to keep this stress supports idea in mind. And all of these are supports, are local supports for folks to take advantage of during this time, or any time. Folks that already have a mental health issue, depression, anxiety, addiction issues. I mean, we had an opioid crisis before this. I know that people are drinking more than ever. There's alcoholism, and there's lonely people, that were lonely before, and now we have this. Yeah. So let's take advantage of our supports right now. And here's a list. At the very top, untreated mental illness, untreated stress, you kill yourself. So let's not have that happen. Let's reach out all the way down to the Mendocino County Warm Line, which is a wonderful new thing that is not a crisis line, but it's just a line that folks can call just to talk when they're feeling overwhelmed and stressed. Project Sanctuary is our local domestic violence center, and that's so important. And then Redwood Community Services has a local counseling line. Daily Bread is feeding folks Monday through Thursday, 4:30 to 5:30, right across the street at the Episcopal Church. And that's a huge blessing.
Oh, and the food bank.
Yes. Now, what do you know about that?
The food bank is also offering meals.
Oh.
I believe every Wednesday and Friday.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the hours, but I think something about around 11 till 4.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Everybody can go.
Okay.
You just have to, I think you can register even anonymously. I'm not sure about that, but you don't have to show any low income or what.
You don't have to prove that you're low.
You don't have to prove.
I see.
They will serve everybody. They ask you to wear masks when you come.
Yes.
And I think they have had a very good turnout. I have a friend who's volunteering there.
Wonderful. So they're actually more than just giving out food, they're serving meals.
No, they're giving out food.
Oh, they're giving out food. Okay. Whereas Daily Bread serves meals. Okay.
That's right.
I see, but they're giving out food. Yeah. Wonderful.
There is something, let's finish that. And after that, I would like to add something that I forgot to say. Then there is also a great resource, was for me a great resource.
Yes.
I had similar issues with you, like I wanted to know everything. I went and Googled everything, and then I was like, this is too much, I can't deal with it. And then I found on KZYX, in the beginning they did it daily from 3 o'clock till 3:30. They had an update with a physician from the ER in Ukiah. And then they had 10 till 15 minutes of call-in opportunities to ask questions. And they did that every day.
Initially.
Now it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, always from 3 till 3:30.
On KZYX.
On KZYX. And I have really, really learned a lot.
Fantastic.
They were also mentioning the Warm Line and other resources, and it's just... And the fact that callers can call in,
yes,
and ask their personal questions, it's wonderful.
That is.
And they also airing the press conferences that the county is holding. So. And
they have archives as well, right? Did you tell me that?
Yeah. If you can't listen at 3 o'clock, just go to their website and look at the archives, and then you find it all there. So you just have to go by the time, like 3 till 3:30. You click on that, and it will come.
Great resource. Yeah. I've used it since you mentioned it, and it is really terrific. Yeah.
And it's so local.
Right.
That's the beauty about it.
Exactly. Because we hear the national, but we need to know the local. Yeah.
I mean, they venture out into the national too, but they're focused on the local.
Uh-huh. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely focused on the local updates.
Very good.
There was something else I wanted to say
Yes.
about the resourcefulness. You know, like many of us had big losses in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's very similar. The tools or what helped us back then overcome this big loss is it's very similar.
The same tools
it's
that
the
we
same
need now.
tools. And the fact that people overcome big losses tells us how resourceful we are.
Uh-huh.
And
Yes.
and just you know, it's about grieving. Yeah, we had losses. We can't do certain things. It's okay to be sad about that.
Right.
It's
yes.
okay to give it a moment to grieve, and also live in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like being out in nature, doing this,
Uh-huh.
playing with animals. That helps us to also to be in the now.
Yes. Yes.
And I think a lot of people learn that it's good to, when they have big losses or big uncertainties in their lives, whether around their health or their partner's health,
Yes.
you learn to live day to day, sometimes
So
minute
true.
to minute.
So
And there
true.
is not that much of a difference.
Uh-huh.
And it's good to take it day to day, and if you're really upset, take it minute to minute.
Yes. Yes.
And also remember there is, and I don't want to sound cheesy, but there's always something beautiful in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And
True.
even in the darkest place, we can find light. We can find beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And just trust that we can find it if we are open for it.
Mm-hmm.
And out of this pandemic, I've seen artists who are offering free concerts online.
Uh-huh.
I've seen people who are offer free services. I'm not the only one who did that.
Uh-huh. Yes,
I
I
mean,
have seen that.
Very generous.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been in contact with 3 singers in Switzerland who offered warm-up, half an hour warm-up every morning at 9 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
All the choir people, so they don't lose their voice.
Their
because
voice.
elder people, if you don't use your voice,
Yeah.
you lose it. You
Okay.
can
I didn't
lose
know
it.
that.
And
I see.
I didn't know that either. And
Uh-huh.
I learned all kinds of tricks.
Mm-hmm.
What you can do for your voice. And then it was just so fun. They used images, they used body tapping, and it was so alive. And just knowing there is thousands of people who are joining and doing that at the moment.
Yes. Yes.
And
So
so-
even in the midst of the worst,
Yeah.
we can find some light.
lot
If
of
we
great-
choose to look there. We just have to change the channel, huh? Yeah.
Not forget.
Not forget.
Remember.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that there is, and it doesn't have to be big. A flower in my garden can do a lot. to me.
Ah, beautiful.
Just looking at it, at the color.
So
the
really
energy.
bringing yourself right into the present moment instead of getting carried away with your thoughts.
Yeah. Take a break.
From all the thinking.
All the worries, all the thinking, all the trying to figure it out.
Yes, the trying to figure it out.
It's okay to do that. I'm not saying
Right,
one shouldn't
right.
do that, but we need breaks. Otherwise, we really work ourselves into the ground.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, speaking about prior losses and what has been most resourceful, I have found in my life, that's when I found this book, speaking about the power of now, which I have used a lot. So I want to give a plug out to Eckhart Tolle and The Power of Now for anyone who has not read it. The Power of Now is magic. And I've really noticed that during this time when I've been kind of strung out in my head about everything, and there is so much coming at us. right now. I'm here with Doris and Andy. Hi, Andy. Grateful to be here at Willits TV, another great resource for our community.
That's very true, and I'm sure this list is not complete.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure we forgot wonderful things, and it's not that we intentionally did that.
Right. I do have this really extensive resources list for shelter in place, which I will put on our website, Avenues to Wellness. I'll put a PDF on our website. It covers pretty much everything. We couldn't fit it all here, but it is really wonderful. So, yeah.
I like that you said when your stress level goes up, you know that your support level has to get up at least until here, better probably.
Yeah, better, exactly. Even better to be higher than the stress, ideally. Yeah, good point.
Yeah. And also, there's nothing wrong in admitting I need support, you know. We all do. I mean, I'm really good at self-care, and I still
Yes.
need support.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so glad I have my friends I can talk to. I'm so
Yes.
glad I have my boyfriend I can see on the weekend.
Absolutely. I mean, life is stressful. Everybody's life is stressful. Without the proper support, it is too much. I mean, I've been in and out of therapy since I was 19. Thank God. I don't know how people go through life without therapy, frankly. I mean, yeah, we got to reach out. It's okay. It's okay.
Also, you know, also the men. Because I noticed I had only women who took me up on my offer. And I just want to speak to all men here as well. You don't have to be the strong, tough guy for us. You can just be human. Like, we all are in the same boat and we all need support. And there's nothing wrong. It's actually a sign of strength when you recognize you need support. This is a sign of strength. And thinking that you don't need support, I question if this is a sign of strength. I'm sorry to say that.
Thank you for saying that. Needs to be said more often. Yeah.
Also, people who become violent, they are at a loss themselves, and it's not that they want to be violent. It's something that just happened to them. And I think with the right support, they could find other ways to express their pain or their frustration.
Absolutely.
Or their stress.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thinking about domestic violence in particular, yeah. Intervening early before it gets to that violent point.
Yeah, and even if it has gotten to that violent point, it's not too late to ask for support, you know.
Have you worked with domestic violence issues?
No, I haven't, but not directly. Indirectly.
I see.
But I understand there's a lot of shame that comes with it if you step out and you say, I'm beating up my wife and my children. It's a hard truth.
To say.
It's a hard truth.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of courage, and I have a lot of respect.
So do I.
For anybody who dares to do that step.
I have a lot of respect for that too. It gives the next person permission to say, yeah, me too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And women can be very violent too. I mean, I do not want to limit that to the gender male.
Right, goes both ways.
Extremely violent. They're mainly violent with their voices, but they can also become physically violent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that is it's actually an alarm signal. You know, when you become physically or verbally violent,
yes,
that is a sign that you need to reach out for support and help. That's how I would interpret it. Can I say something? If people want to use, I will pick up that I took a break with the free coaching on Wednesdays.
Uh-huh.
I will put it out there again, and people can also just contact me through Doris Wier at embraceconflicts.com and see if I'm available.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Doris, for having this conversation today.
Thank you, Andy, for filming.
Thank you, Andy. We'll take a 2-month break, and we'll be back in September with another speaker event. Thank you, folks.